This is First Contact, Stories of the Call Center.
When we talk about the experience, both from being approachable from yourself and leadership and where you find yourself online and everywhere else, I know that recently you had put some LinkedIn posts, right? And some of those posts had to do with yexting, right? Yell texting. And it's about, having people with COVID symptoms or health issues and that they need to stop working. Can you give some insight into what it's like or what that is that you're managing through?
Sure. Yes, Gretchen, yexting is a thing. And then for those people who understand that reference, it's like fetch. But the reality is this. One of the big challenges of work at home is that the computer is staring you straight in the face. You can see it, and if you can crawl to it, you think you can work. Now, I often tell people that I'm the luckiest person on the planet. I have a great family. I have a great business. I have people who care so much about me and this company. It boggles my mind. And in that way, I have people who have had COVID, who could barely breathe and would jump on conference calls because they were home, or they would jump and start doing email. So I got to a point where I was yexting people, yell texting at people to get off the calls, to get out of the email. I got to a point where I actually reached out to people's spouses to tell their spouse to stop working because, and it wasn't, yes, there's always work to do, especially when you're growing. We've had 3 years in a row with 30% growth, both through acquisition and internal growth. And there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do every day. And as you grow, one of the big challenges that we've had is teaching people to learn to delegate, learn to manage, learn to measure versus learn to do. But those who are still on that rise, I'm finding people, I'm going into meetings. I had a woman who's working directly for me, working directly with me on some projects. She couldn't breathe. And she's doing email and she's getting on phone calls. And I literally had to go to her boss and say, I want you to tell her that if she doesn't take the day, I'm going to disconnect her credentials from our network. That's how crazy it is. One big piece of advice that I give to my team is to do something during your normal commute time that will separate your day. Mm-hmm. Do something to get into work and do something to get out of work. But one of the big problems that we've had is that people don't know when to begin or start. And I have the same problem. I woke up yesterday and we're in the middle of an acquisition. Actually, I think we're in the middle of 2 acquisitions. And I woke up yesterday morning and I started my first Zoom call at 8:00 in the morning. And at 7:30 at night, I realized I was still in the same sweatpants that I put on when I got out of bed. And other than the fact that I had a clean t-shirt, I had literally been on back-to-back Zoom calls all day. And I had forgotten to have breakfast. I barely shoved something down my throat for lunch because that computer is always calling. And it's not just in the call center business, Christian. It is my wife does telemedicine at home. And prior to doing telemedicine, when EMR, when the electronic medical records became available to her at home, that computer was like a magnet to her. Oh, I can do some of my charts. I can do some of my phone calls. I can do what I can do. And all of a sudden, people get uncomfortable leaving their computer. Yeah, and this is a real problem during this pandemic.
Yeah, and work-life balance, because now your sanctuary, your home or your place of bedroom, wherever it may be, because it may be the only place that you can work quietly or within the context of other people in your house, things of that nature. Yes, having a routine, get up, get dressed, take a shower like you would to work. If you had a commute, use that time for something else. I know here at work with our company, we do yoga a couple times a week for those who want to participate and get away, but find a routine, as you mentioned, get in to what it takes to get to and into work, and also the other part, disconnecting. And I think all of us have those challenges as well.